If you want to see a really quick, easy, natural makeup tutorial that you can just do on the go, then you have to watch this video. Hi guys, it's Dr. Mona, and today I'm doing a makeup tutorial, and it's kind of makeup tutorial part 2, because if you watched the video I did recently where I got my makeup done at Blushington by Angie, this is me doing my own makeup. So of course I wish I could get my makeup done every day, that would be amazing, but obviously I have to do it myself sometimes. So I just want to show you what I do, what my go-to is. Honestly, it's really quick. I'm not that great at makeup. When I do it myself, it's very minimal eyes. It's really just focused on skin. Watch this video and you'll see, but I'd love to show you. So here's all my products out. I will link them below in case you can't see it in the video. The first thing I always make sure to have is my beauty blender. You run it under water, make sure you squeeze it, and all the excess water is squeezed out. So the first thing that I will use is either a primer or moisturizer. Right now I'm just using this Cover FX Illuminating Primer, and I like putting it on with a foundation brush. It just kind of glides on smoothly. Anything you put to just kind of like put a layer on your skin so that the foundation has something it can sit over. Okay, that's all on there. And if you haven't put on sunscreen yet, make sure your sunscreen goes on at least 15 minutes before your foundation so that it really gets in there and does its job, because sunscreen is the most important thing of all. Okay, so next I use foundation. So I have these two Stila foundations, which actually have been discontinued. They now make different colors, but regardless of what foundation you use, I feel like from what I've learned over doing my makeup for years, getting it done, one color rarely is the perfect color for you, so you generally have to mix two. So I don't even know what to call this. This is basically a little palette mixer. That's what I'm gonna call it. See, I'm really not a big makeup girl, but anyway, I mixed my two colors on here, and this is what I've seen makeup artists do, so this is what I do. I basically just kind of mix them together. It's almost like painting. I create my own little color. So here's a really interesting thing that I do with my makeup. I actually use a lot of product. So when I do my makeup, I use a lot of product. Most days I won't wear anything on my skin. I just let it breathe. But I find that when I put a lot of foundation, just let it it just glides on smoother and kind of gives me a more silky look, especially when you're using Stila. So I just kind of paint it on. I'll do like half of it, like rub it, almost like brush it in to a point where it's like smooth, and then blend it all in with the Beauty Blender. There's something about Stila. Becca's pretty good too, but I love Stila. It just looks so natural and glowy on your skin. Okay, a little bit on one side. Okay, so now doing the same thing on the other side. I like to do one side at a time just so I can make sure it blends. If I do the whole face and then blend after, sometimes it dries up and it can look a little cakey or sticky. Okay. And I always start with my skin just a little bit, because I feel like if I start with my eyes and you put on heavy eye makeup and your skin isn't done, it just kind of makes you look crazy. And I like to have like a good base first, because it's more realistic to what you'll actually look like. Okay. And if you're doing your makeup, try to wear whatever kind of shirt you're wearing a little bit more low cut, so that you can really get like your jawline and neck. You don't want to have like any kind of harsh line. Okay, so now we've got like a good base down. Then what you can do for your eyelids is put on some kind of eye primer. I actually don't really have eye primer. I don't know, I think I lost it. So another option is just to use concealer or foundation. You just kind of need like a base of something. So I'll put a little foundation on there. You can also use this little beauty blender. I have a mini one that's just meant for your eyes. It's so cute. So next I'm just gonna do literally the most basic eyes ever because that's just all I really can do, to be honest. I always put a little bit of translucent powder over the foundation just to make sure that the eyeshadow like sits evenly on there. This one's Laura Mercier, but any translucent powder will do. Okay. So if you're really busy on the go, if you don't have a lot of products with you, if you're traveling, such an easy, good trick is to use your bronzer. So you can just take your bronzer. You need a blending brush because you're going to put this like all along your crease. Literally just go like sweep back and forth in between your eyelid crease, just right here. And this kind of contours your eye. So it's not going to give you anything really glamour fancy, but it's just kind of going to give your eye like a nice shape and make it pop. Just that little bit really does something. Okay, you can obviously see how quickly I'm doing this. Then sometimes I like to take like a gold highlighter. Obviously, if you have an eyeshadow palette that does this, that's definitely the better way to do it. This is just, you know, when I have my essential products. So I'll take like a gold or champagne, like a shimmery color, and just lightly dab it on my eyelids. And then after I put that on, I just reblend. So I hate concealer. For some reason, it just makes my face look really cakey and heavy. It always leaves like little lines under my eyes. So I love using this Stila color corrector. This is kind of my go-to. It kind of has the same concept. It just brightens under your eyes, but it's just not so heavy on your face. So there's different colors. I use the two pink ones. The green one is if you're red. This orange one I think is if you have like dark spots that you really want to cover. But just for brightening, I'll use these two light ones. Okay. See how it's just like right under there? I blend it with my beauty blender. Get in it a little closer. This one's actually really handy for that. Okay, so now that's done. Of these two foundations, I'm going to take the lighter one and just put one more little layer over that to cover up any of that like pinkness and to also just brighten under the eyes. So it's almost like I'm using foundation in place of concealer. Back to the beauty blender. I don't know what I did before this thing was invented. Sometimes I forget my nose and I have like these two distinct freckles on my nose and that will remind me. Okay, everything looks pretty blended. I also don't use any kind of powder all over my skin. I find that it ages you a little bit. Maybe if you're like much younger, I don't know, but I like to just keep my skin looking really fresh and dewy. So by the time I've finished my eyes and under eyes and everything, I feel like the rest of it's kind of settled in so I can go right to bronzer and blush. So this one is Laura Mercier Bronze 03. I like using like a little slanted brush for it. And I just try to keep it. Angie's taught me, who did my last makeup tutorial.
And the bronzer, you want to add it right by the earlobe, right on the top of the ear, down to the cheekbone. You don't want to go in the middle. You want to go up here and then bring it down, because that creates more, that brings out your cheeks more.
And then all along my hairline. Trust me, the key is to start light and then build, because there's nothing worse than being like halfway done and having to wipe everything off. So if you notice, all of the colors I use are really warm. So I've got golds, bronzes, tans. It kind of gives you, again, like that sun-kissed, glowy look. You could even wear this if you were going on a hike. No one would think you're wearing any makeup. It's all about no makeup. So you kind of go along your hairline and do like a little E. So here, and it makes a little E on your cheek, and then down here. Okay. And then put on a little blush. This blush is also very warm. This one's by Tarte, Exposed. I'm obsessed with this color. It actually looks weird on it. You can never judge blush by how it looks until you actually put it on. And this is just basically almost right where the bronzer was, but a little above it. So make a little smile. And then I like to go over it with the Beauty Blender just to like make it all kind of blend together. I guess that's what a Beauty Blender is for. I also have to always, I always get foundation a little bit on your lips. Once you wipe that off. Okay, and we've got some highlighter. I don't always use highlighter. Let me use this one instead. This is also by Becca. When I do use it, I love this little fan brush for it. If you're using Becca highlighter, a little bit goes such a long way, so just be careful. And lastly, we can't forget about the eyebrows. I will use like anything to fill in my eyebrows, the most random things I can find. Where's my brush? Here. I generally like to use powder just because I think it looks a little more like real and natural. So one thing that my eyebrow girl, Kim, taught me to do is to brush my eyebrows down. I have really long eyebrows. But then when you brush them down, you can see like the spots that are missing. And then I always wet a brush a little bit, put on some powder, and I'll see like up here is where I usually need it. I think it's time for me to get my eyebrows waxed too. So my eyebrows are not symmetrical. This one's higher than this one. So I always try to like bring my left one down a little bit and cheat it. I feel like I should have started with eyebrows because they're like the most important. If you're gonna do anything, it should be eyebrows. And that's it. So the last thing I'll do is use my Stila eyeliner. This color is Lionfish. So I have black hair, black eyelashes, black eyebrows, but black actually looks really harsh on me. I learned this over the years. So brown actually just, I don't know, compliments me a lot more. So maybe just experiment and see what works with you. Maybe it's something you wouldn't expect. So I do it under my lash line or on my lash line, not in the waterline. If you do it in the waterline, it just almost closes your eye a little bit, and I like it to look a little more open. This is also such a great eyeliner because it glides on really soft, so you hardly have to press on it. I'll put like a little bit on the top, like just right on my lash line. Not a thick line, not a wing, just like a little on the top. If you have eyelash extensions, wearing eyeliner can really mess them up. So a lot of times I won't do it for that, but if I know I'm getting a fill, then I will. And that's it. I don't put on any mascara because eyelash extensions kind of take care of that for me. But that's my go-to look. It's really simple, easy when you're traveling, good for day to day. If you want something a little more glam for night, maybe do a little more than this, but this is the best I can usually do day to day. So if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you like more of these tutorials or what else you guys want me to film. You can always find my content on Instagram at Dr. Mona Vand, and I will see you next time. I feel like if a makeup artist was watching this, they would maybe cringe and be like, that's not how you're supposed to do anything, but this is how I do mine.